it's a gold medal for the Olympics in the sport of disqualifying black women from competing for reasons that seem suspect.
All-American. All-American wins.
Welcome to Keep It, cricket media's show about pop culture and politics and what happens when they smack into each other at an alarming speed. I'm your host, Ira Madison III, a television writer and Fall Out Boy fan.
I'm Louis Fertel. I'm a TV writer and Jane Fonda historian.
And I'm Aida Osman. I'm a TV writer and alleged comedian.
Let's get into it. First of all, we have Sha'Carri Richardson.
Our goddess.
Yes, who has been suspended for smoking the ganja. Okay, she had a little reefer.
Just a little. Let
Just
my
a
baby
little.
run. She
tested positive for THC, and the USADA released a statement that said that her competitive results obtained on June 19, 2021, including her Olympic qualifying results at the team trials, have been disqualified as she forfeits any medals, points, and prizes. Beyond the 1-month sanction, athlete eligibility for the Tokyo Games is determined by the USOPC and or US track and field eligibility rules. She, of course, said that she found out from a reporter that her biological mother had passed away in an interview. And then she, went to smoke some weed, which, okay, girl. I get high when I get bad news, too. I mean, who does not?
Shit. Shit. Like, I would have gone and done meth. Okay, there's no, just let her have, girl. Think about it. It's just like, I can't even think about it. I get so emotionally overwhelmed for her and the things that she's been going through. And the way she reacted was just with poise and care, and black women don't get no breaks at all.
Yes. Her tweet where she just wrote, "I am human."
That's it.
I remember when she first won, right? There were all those tweets about, like, support other black women in your life, who have colorful hair and long nails and don't run as fast as her. And I'm like, the memes, there's always a spoken word out there. And then literally, like, 2 weeks later where we ended up having to be defending her? And mostly against white people who love the rules.
They love the rules as if they made them. Oh my God. Every conversation I've had with somebody about this, they immediately, their first response, whoever is like a man, even black men, or I don't talk to white men. Who am I kidding? If it's not Louis, there's no conversation. The first thing that they'll say to me is, well, the Olympics are so staunch. It's not even about black women. It's about the Olympics. As if this week alone hasn't proven to us between Sha'Carri and Brianna McNeil, and then also the stuff that's going on with the swimming caps in that world, which we're going to get to, I'm sure. Black women are disproportionately targeted in the Olympics, as if that's not what we experience in every single corner of our world. So it's just, it's so reductionist, and it's not a conversation that I'm happy to have with anyone ever.
Yes. When you think about the rules, it's always this conversation, too, where it's like, they love implementing them on other people, right? I think when you even think about, like, you read articles and stuff where it's like, like a white person's like kid like gets arrested, and it is they have the access to like a legal team. There's always like they made a mistake, like etc. I went to a rich kids school, a bunch of white people with access, and that's people get in trouble, but they get out of it. And the rules always seem to not matter when you have like the money or the access to circumvent them.
Yeah, and there's nothing in place to protect black women in situations like this, because first of all, we already know that her parents aren't around to that extent. I mean, her grandmother is around and she'd been living with her, but what is the support system there? Where are the finances or the resources that would need to be made available to save her from situations like this? Because so I'm sure there's so much stuff that happens in the Olympics that gets quietly swept under the rug. You don't know, and we don't know. So
I do want to point out one thing that cracked me up this week, though, was people digging for her old tweets.
And finding
and
what?
They weren't even that old. They were recent. She was like, if you support Lil Nas X, unfollow me. And listen, Sha'Carri is a lesbian, but she seems to be a religious black. And the tweets were about the Call Me By Your Name video.
Oh, okay.
Demonic.
So it's the devilishness.
The
It's
devil
demonic,
worship. She's
It's not the
down
gay
for
stuff.
it. Yes.
You know what, girl? Look, I had that same reaction too. It took me a week to process and decompress from that video. I understand.
Also, swim caps
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
at the Olympics. So Soul Cap, a British company that makes swim caps to support swimmers with diverse hairstyles. I love that phrase. Is speaking out after it said the governing body for water sports competitions did not certify its caps for the Olympics. They sell 4 sizes of swim caps to accommodate athletes with long hair, dreadlocks, and afros. FINA, the international governing body for water sports competitions, states in its rules that apparel companies must submit new designs and materials for approval before they are cleared to be used in competition. Referees also have the authority to exclude any competitors who don't comply with the rule. SoulCap submitted its application last year before it was denied, according to Yahoo News. FINA's justification was that elite athletes don't require caps of such size and that they do not follow the natural form of the head.
Boo! If you don't want black women to win medals, just say that. Just say no black women in the pool, no black women swimming, because essentially
They pouring bleach in the pool, y'all.
Oh,
okay?
no. It's attacking the edge control, everything in the water. You can be a black woman, but you better be bald or have a small afro for this to work out. And I think what frustrates me the most is this is just at the detriment of black women and their ability to swim. Like, I don't think that having a bulging, I got my Senegalese twist underneath this cap is going to add aerodynamicism to me swimming. You know, like everything is going to be, I'm messing with the resistance, my own resistance. It's adding time to my laps.
3 women have been disqualified for testing that they have higher testosterone than necessary. By either the rules demand that they sort of lower their testosterone levels artificially by either taking birth control pills daily, having hormone blocking injections, or undergoing surgery. Which is ironic, of course, because sports, it says doping is inappropriate, but now they want these women to dope up so that their testosterone levels are lower.
See, this is why I don't run. This right here is the problem. I don't.
That's why you don't run.
This is why I don't
take your
run.
birth control.
Yeah. It's a feminist issue for me. not standing up. Oh God, this is ridiculous. And it's the same organizations that have rules that want to have stipulations on what it means to be a woman. But when it comes to trans conversations, radio silence.
We have another exciting story to talk about this week. Bill Cosby's out.
Oh, God. Sorry, I just gripped the desk as you said that.
On Wednesday, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned Bill Cosby's 2018 sexual assault convictions, and he was released from prison. America's dad has returned home.
Oh my God, you should be slapped.
He has not been exonerated. However, it's unlikely he'll face further consequences for the serial predation he has confessed to. I think the most disappointing thing about this has been having to return to the people online who are still expressing support for Bill Cosby. They were very dormant, mostly, Mostly it was just sort of like Hotep, on Twitter sometimes would be like, well, why is Cosby in prison, while Harvey Weinstein's out making movies? And you're like, sir, Harvey Weinstein's not making a movie. You're just watching Scream on HBO Max. And it says the Weinstein Company. But
Sir.
He
subsidiary. Sir.
There was so many people coming out of the woodwork. Looking at Felicia Rashad's Instagram post that was about supporting Bill, the thing that was most troubling was the likes
Also, I know it's about to be some fuck shit when you turn the comments off. When it's no one's allowed to respond to what you said, Miss Huxtable.
She's like,
Come
the
on,
crazy's out and the doors are locked.
That reminds me of that tweet. I can't even remember the wording, but it's something like, bitches be saying shit, and then all of a sudden it's tweets not loading.
exactly.
This is whenever someone does a specific Instagram post, and it's like you can't comment at all. No comments. They know something's up.
By the way, I didn't realize there were Cosby Show alums available still to disappoint us. Like I mean, I just thought like Malcolm Jamal Warner is not jumping in. Tempest Bledsoe not saying anything. For Felicia Rashad to jump the fuck up and say this was so surprising. I know Keisha Knight Pulliam came with him to court once or something. So like I had been prepared for that a little bit, but Felicia out of nowhere speaking in triumph as if she has some information on this person whom dozens and dozens of people have testified against.
She's got the tea.
I guess was so unusually extremely insane.
I will actually say I have been disappointed by Malcolm Jamal Warner recently. He did replace Shamar Moore on The Young and the Restless, and that is not a fair trade.
Wow, Shamar was there a long time. Yeah.
That was not a fair trade. You know what I will say about Bill Cosby?
What will you say, girl?
Well, remember when he went to prison and everyone, like, there were all the debates, about how, like, can we still consume Cosby content, etc. And I was like, I don't think I have in the interim,
Yeah,
I don't think I've had the need to. I mean, A Different World I've watched, which was a Cosby production, but he wasn't in it.
And he was famously feuding with Lisa Bonet, so it sort of feels like this weird radical production within the Cosby umbrella, though that is probably delusion on my part.
Actually, for an article, I did rewatch the pilot of The Cosby Show.
Oh, okay.
Which is good.
Probably got better as it. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I feel like it probably got better as it went along.
It's good. It's interesting. The whole specific thing about him being like America's Dad or something too is it's very much respectability politics, the sitcom. So all the conflicts are very much that.
You know what I did watch recently is the clip of Wanda Sykes hosting the Emmys where he says that rude comment to her while she's trying to come to him in the audience.
What?
She's have you not seen this? It's from 2003 when Wanda Sykes hosts the Emmys, and she's just like doing crowd work, talking to like celebrities in the crowd, and Bill is sitting there with sunglasses, which I didn't know you were allowed to do in an award show unless you were Stevie Wonder.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson, right. And she comes up to him and says something, and he responds with,
like the Cosby Show, that was all scripted.
Yeah, we spoke English.
Making fun of the way she was speaking. Like with her, like, yeah, it was like, and the crowd reaction is grim. So it's like people were sort of on to the weirdness of the situation.
I just don't understand. I don't understand how that's cutting to American English-speaking comedian Wanda Sykes. Like,
I mean, that's Bill logic for you.
Well, he hates that Negro speak Aida. It's wild, I mean, like, we talk a lot about the fact that Cosby was a serial predator, but we also don't talk about the fact that he was also a bitch.
Right. Yeah. It was in his stand-up too. It was in all his jokes. I think we have the conversation a lot about like separating the art from the artist, or can those moral conversations, but The Cosby Show is one of the shows, and he is one of the offenders that even looking at his face now, I have such a visceral reaction. I can't carry on. I can't look at the art anymore. It's not even a conversation for me.
I know. Do you know how sad it is? I can't watch Ghost Dad anymore.
California Suite, that's a Jane Fonda movie down for me.
Oh no! Now you're left with what, 60 of them left that you watch on constant rotation?
I do carry on. Yeah.
But you know what? Isn't there supposed to be a remake of Uptown Saturday Night coming? That was Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby, which is a great film, but need a remake.
Also, hey, Sydney, where the fuck are you, girl? It's been a long time since I've seen you. He used to be just in the balcony at every award show, and he would wave once, and we all stood for him.
I think Sidney Poitier is taking a much-needed rest.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think he's the oldest living Best Actor winner, so he's like in his 90s.
Listen, that hand is tired, okay? How many times you going to slap somebody and say, they call me Mr. Tibbs? He does it every time he sees a white person.
And they ask him to. They're like, prove you're Sidney.
Remember when he was on Ellen and she said, slap me, Sidney?
He's like, I'm retired, and she insisted. Yeah.
The other thing that was going on this weekend was an annoying amount of memes about how Bill was out, but Britney was still in captivity. And I was like, I know that the human brain likes to put things together to make them easy to comprehend, but I was like, one of these has nothing to do with the other.
Also,
whatsoever.
Yeah, can you think of a third legal case? Just it's like we're not like goldfish. Yeah.
And also, shout out to Ronan Farrow and Gia Tolentino for that harrowing piece on Britney, though.
Also, I was very surprised to see them link up, so to speak. Gia, they've both been on this show. Gia, a wonderful essayist, and now I forget to think of her as a regular old journalist, and that's exactly what she was.
Mm-hmm. I refreshed the email. I said, this was a mistake. How did this happen? How did this happen? What do they have to talk about together?
I always love when Ronan drops a new piece because, being friends with him, you run into him, right? And then you're always like, oh, this is what you were running around doing when I didn't see you.
Right.
Like you're standing next to me and you're probably like checking emails like, this is what's up with Britney. This is about to drop.
Right.
John, you good? You good? Okay.
Actual Gossip Girl shit. No, we literally saw him a week ago, and instead of asking, what he was up to, I did the thing where I was like, so we got to talk about your mom in the 1974 Great Gatsby again, actually. I use him as a vessel to talk about Mia Farrow only.
Ain't you tired? Ain't you tired, Mr. Vattel?
I'm only getting stronger, unfortunately.
That's also... that's actually my second line in Knives Out, too.
Oh, yeah?
Ain't you tired, Mr. Vattel? There's a character named Mr. Vattel. Played by Stevie Nicks.
I wish there were Golden Globes so that you could be at least invited to them. I don't know about nominated.